Previously on Dynasty Warriors 8 Empires. Originally starting out as the weakest man in the land, Craig is slowly rising to fame and becoming more of a powerful threat. But as a wise man once said, with great power comes great responsibility. Craig is now a married man and has a son. Needless to say, there's a lot on his plate now that he's overseeing so many regions across the land. Craig is also trying to find the location of his good friend Zhou Tai, as well as trying to learn why his long-lost pal Mema has turned against him. Lastly, on his quest to liberate all of the land from tyranny, Craig needs to figure out which ruler to target and take down next. In the last episode, Craig asked the audience to vote for either Guan Yinping, Zhou Yu, or Xu Huang as the next target. Stay tuned to see what happens next in today's episode of Dynasty Warriors 8 Empires. Also, don't forget to stick around to the end of this video to have your vote on which ruler Craig should take out next. Thanks. Now back to our little chat with the Mystic Man. Wait, hold up, say that again. You did what to Mema?
He sought me out a long time ago for healing. He had an incurable illness, you see. And well, at the time I was employed under Sun Qian to show people the truth, if you know what I mean.
Wait, do you mean to say that you were literally twisting people's minds to convert them over to Sun Qian?
Yes, I did.
So you did this to Mema as well?
I can fix things, I swear to you, Craig.
Find him, heal him, and bring him to me at once.
Hey, Craig! We just got news that Zhou Tai is holding up in the northern region under the watch of my daughter, Guan Yinping. Also, it turns out she'd be this episode's target as 53% of the viewers from the last episode voted for her.
Oh, is that gonna be weird for you?
No!
Things were really looking up for Craig at the moment. Not only did he learn about Zhou Tai's whereabouts, but he also learned a little more about what happened to Mema.
Craig, there's someone here who wants to talk to you.
It is good to see you again, my friend. Are you willing to reconsider joining my side?
Yeah, you got it, big dog.
Holy shit. With Mema joining the ranks, it was finally time for Craig to make his move on the north. His first priority was to recruit Zhou Tai again, but in order to do that, he needs to successfully liberate this region. As always, Craig started out by launching a secret raid. This time, he was accompanied by his loyal friend Dian Wei and his oldest pal Mema, and honestly, the enemy didn't even stand a chance. Craig's raid attack on Guan Yinping's land was a very quick success. Upon returning back to his main camp, Craig decided to strike again while the enemy region was in an incredibly weak position. So Craig followed up his raid with a full-scale invasion, outnumbering the enemy forces 2-1. On the battlefield, Craig was still feeling a little concerned about the health of his friend Mema. He didn't really understand how Zhang Jiao possesses these arcane and mystic abilities to heal others, or perhaps more frighteningly, being able to influence the minds of others. Craig figured he was just following orders at the time though, but he'd be keeping an eye on Zhang Jiao all the same, just in case. After a few successfully executed stratagems, and a much larger force on his side, Craig was finding that Guan Yinping's morale was plummeting, with her forces being noticeably much easier to take out. One by one her bases fell, and the sweet, glorious taste of victory was had by Craig's army. This means only one thing for Craig. Finally, we can get Zhou Tai back. But first, we gotta deal with the captured enemy officers from this battle.
Yeah, I think that sounds okay.
Jesus, sounds just like her dad, I guess.
Forgive me, but I must refuse you.
Shit, well I guess you know what they say. When you play the game of Dynasty Warriors 8 Empires, you either win, or you get executed.
Get lost, you loser.
Come on, not you as well.
Craig, I heard you have ligma.
Seriously, everybody? It's like the Red Wedding up in here today.
I bet you like Dynasty Warriors 6.
It's literally not even as bad as everyone says it is. After a long day of giving his two-handed grip a workout, Craig searched the land for Zhou Tai. And finally, after being apart from each other for roughly 1.5 videos, as well as the 2+ months everyone spent waiting for this episode, Craig and Zhou Tai were finally reunited.
Holy shit, I'm back. I'm Zhou Tai.
Unfortunately, the celebrations were cut short, as the North had launched an attack on Craig, trying to reclaim their lost land. This was horrible timing for Craig, as his forces were still exhausted after the last invasion. Craig took his best troops into the battle, including Mema and Zhou Tai, but even their combined might wasn't enough to hold back the enemy forces. Craig's forces suffered a devastating defeat. Not only did Craig lose the territory he fought so hard to liberate, but he also lost an incredibly valuable ally, Meng Huo. Craig had 2 wolves howling inside of him, with one telling him to rescue Meng Huo, considering how cool the guy ended up being, and the other wolf telling Craig that this situation wasn't such a bad thing. With Meng Huo out of the picture, Craig was feeling a lot more relaxed about his Pookie Bear Zhurong. But after much consideration and howling, he decided that he'd try his best to free the Nanman king, as he refuses to leave any man behind.
Hey, Craig, would you consider giving me a promotion, considering I brought Mema back?
God, no. Are you serious, dude? I've fallen for this trick before. I'm not falling for it again.
Hey Craig, I found this epic steed that's gonna get you from one side of the battlefield to the other in literally seconds. Let's check this horse out.
So you wanna be a player, but your wheels ain't flying. You gotta hit us up to get a pimped out ride. You got to pimp my ride. Damn right. You got to pimp my ride.
So I noticed your mount isn't exactly any red hair, so I've hooked you up with something real special. With a premium speed of 240, and a gorgeous iconic red tint color, may I present to you Red Hair's cousin, Marshmallow. He's basically just like Red Hair, only cuter.
Are you sure I'm going to fit on that thing?
Hey, Craig, we're being attacked again.
Well, there's only one way to find out, I guess. Craig took his new friend into battle, and honestly, it was love at first sight. During the battle, Craig thought to himself, how the hell does the enemy from the north have so many resources to just keep fighting over and over again? It's genuinely getting impressive. Regardless, after a long and grueling defensive battle, Craig's forces had narrowly claimed the W. They also managed to capture Sima Zhao, who didn't want to cooperate. Geez, at this rate, there'll be no one left in the north to stand in Craig's way, which was totally fine by him. After defending his home, Craig wasted no time with launching a counterattack on the north. This time, though, Craig's army absolutely destroyed the enemy forces, with an army of 36,000 strong against a measly 9,000. Finally, after a long and arduous few months, things were really starting to go Craig's way. With how resilient the northern territories proved to be, Craig decided he wasn't going to settle until every region was conquered, with Craig himself being crowned as the king of the north. If he could just capture the northern capital, then all of the north will bend the knee to Craig.
Hey, Craig, would you be willing to reconsider giving me a promotion now?
Jesus, dude. Seriously? If you ask one more time, I'm kicking you out of the Craig Club. Before advancing on the capital, Craig realized that it's probably a good idea to update his appearance at this point in his journey. It's important to dress for the job you want, you know. Oh my god, holy shit, Craig. You'd make a fine-looking emperor. Wait, hang on a sec. I'm not quite sure this outfit exactly exudes the big emperor energy you were hoping for, Craig. But at least Zhurong seems to like it. Finally, Craig had set off to the northern capital, with a new look, a new steed. Hell, at this point Craig is feeling like a new man. At least that was until he experienced the all-too-familiar feeling of defeat. Craig decided to pump the brakes for a sec here, and shift his focus on a smaller, less fortified region of the north. Which ended up being a genius Sigma Alpha move, because not only did Craig's army absolutely destroy this group of betas, but he also rescued his friend Meng Huo. Following this swift victory, Dian Wei quickly caught up with Craig to deliver some news from his scouts. Oh my god, we're getting attacked again already? By Xu Huang to the south? This is literally the last thing we need right now. In Dynasty Warriors 8 Empires, when an enemy decides to attack one of your regions, you actually have the option to ignore the battle, and to not engage in the conflict. This is a pretty risky move though, because there's either a chance that the enemy can capture your region, or they can at least weaken it. But with that being said, if you choose to enter the battle and defend your land, there's always the chance you could lose the defensive battle too. In this particular circumstance as well, the region Xu Huang is attacking also just so happens to be where Craig has established his capital, meaning that if Xu Huang actually manages to capture this region, Craig would lose all of his lands, and his quest for emperor would be over. Feeling stuck between a rock and a hard place, Craig was torn between racing back home to defend his capital region, or remaining in the north for the time being and finishing what he started. The smartest move would probably be to move to the defensive and live to fight another day. However, by now we should all know that Craig isn't exactly the smartest hero in Dynasty Warriors, and he's used to following his heart, rather than that brain in his giant-ass head of his. So yeah, Craig basically decided to gamble the safety of his capital against Xu Huang's oncoming assault, just for the chance to take down the northern capital once and for all. All things considered, Craig's army was still functioning at full strength when compared to the enemies, even after all of the constant battles and skirmishes Craig has faced in this episode. I guess when you're following a leader like Craig, it's hard not to fight with the utmost ferocity. Despite there being a lot of famous officers spread across the battlefield, none of them stood a chance against Craig's tatted-up, bare-chested might. Finally, Craig spotted the enemy commander in the main camp, who kinda just seemed like any other generic Joe Schmo. After moving in for the kill, Craig effortlessly defeated the enemy commander, thus in turn, bringing home the final victory required in the north. As always, before packing up and heading home, Craig had to figure out what to do with the captured enemy officers from the north.
You suck.
God damn it, come on guys. Why doesn't anyone want to join Craig's mission? Is he really that unappealing of a leader? Anyway, to continue this episode's trend, many captured officers were executed, but some, surprisingly, said yes to joining Craig's army. Oh shit.
Yeah, okay, Craig, you lil bitch.
Things might get a little confusing for Zhou Tai. Finally, after the long campaign, Craig liberated all 4 regions that belonged to the north. And now that the northern campaign has concluded, there is well and truly only one official king of the north, and his name is Craig.
The king of the north!
All that's left for Craig to do now is to see if his homeland is safe from Xu Huang's forces. Oh, thank God. Everything still looks like it's in its usual condition. Maybe Craig should take bigger risks like this more often. Jeez, what a roller coaster this episode has been. I think in this episode alone, Craig has probably executed more enemy officers than he has across every previous episode combined so far. He also somehow managed to fight and execute both of the Chow sisters in one episode, which is kinda impressive. Not only that, but he went from having absolutely 0 Zhou Tais within his ranks, to now having both of them under his employ. On top of this, Craig also managed to rescue his pal Meng Huo, as well as reuniting with his longtime buddy Mema, all thanks to Zhang Zhao's help. In an earlier episode, Craig had an alliance with Zhou Yu which had naturally run its course. And now it's come back to bite him in the ass, as Zhou Yu is going on the offensive, and finally lashing out at one of Craig's regions. Craig has a lot going on for him at the moment, but this is where he needs your help the most. Should Craig destroy the regions governed by Jiashu, seeing as Craig's lands now surround both of these regions? Or should he head west and take out Zhou Yu and protect his lands from being invaded? Leave a comment below, either voting for Jiashu or Zhou Yu. As Craig is a man of the people, he will target and take out the ruler with the most votes in the next episode. I'd just like to take a moment to thank the true Muso warriors of Craig's army for supporting this channel. If you're interested in joining our community and gaining access to our channel Discord and additional members-only videos, or even just supporting what I'm doing here with this channel, I'll leave a link below in this video's description.